Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Amazon stock. Is this stock about to see a decent sized pullback, or is it about to rip higher? We're going to talk about all that in this video. So looking at the daily chart here, we had this big consolidation range back here, and then this massive price expansion once we broke out of that range, all the way up to this 261.8% extension here. Usually most of the time you only get a move to this 161.8% extension of whatever the breakout of that range is, but this time we actually got to move to this 261.8% extension. And that's probably due to the amount of time we sat in this long-term consolidation range here. So usually price compression does lead to pretty large price expansion. In this case, all the way up to this 261.8% extension. So we've recently come into the supply zone here, and I think there's a couple ways you can go around trading this stock. I think shorter term, there's actually a bit of a bearish setup here. You have this really short-term daily W formation here, but I do think there's a lot more overhead supply than there is overall demand at this current level. So right now, I think a decent way to go around trading this is you can actually short the stock here and stop if we break back over these highs at 32.50, and I would stop out if we break back over these highs on any hourly close above. I would probably stop out of this trade. I think shorter term, there's a really good chance you actually undercut these lows here and then potentially even break back above them and then head higher. So what I would expect in the price is to actually head to the 138.2% extension of its recent range here, which sits right at about 2,800 and potentially even 2,750, which is this 161.8% extension down here. I think there's a good possibility we see both of these levels over the coming weeks. I think you do have more overall supply here than demand, and I think most likely this W formation won't break out and will most likely lead lower. So shorter term, I do think you see this 138.2% extension and 161.8% extension of its really short term range here. I think there's a very good chance we see those two levels. So you have a pretty good risk to reward trade here. You can short versus these highs here. You're risking around 100 points and you're looking for around 400 points in profit. If I was to short here, I would most likely trim half at 2,800 if we see it, or if you want a lower risk way to trade the stock, you could actually trim half against these lows here, just in case we reverse off of them, and then you could hold the rest to these two levels down here. Now, if you're looking along the stock and you actually think we do continue higher, then you want a good entry as close as you can against these lows here, and you would put your stop under these lows, and we would most likely undercut those if we break this uptrend line. Now, if you're looking from a longer term view and you want to invest in the stock, I would definitely wait. I think there's room for significant downside here before you can actually take a really long-term position in the stock. I think where you'd want to look to take that position would be if we get a retest of this breakout and this long-term uptrend line. I think those would be both great places to enter a long-term trade in this, and then you can just ride this long-term trend line higher with a stop below it. So yeah, that's my views on Amazon stock. I think right now you can short the stock and put a stop over these recent highs here, and we should get a short-term move down to this $2,800 level. I think there's a really good chance we see that. Now, if you also look at the wave count, you could easily interpret it like this, that this is wave 1, this consolidation range here is wave 2, then you have wave 3 pushing up here, and then wave 4, and then wave 5, and now this could be a long-term ABC wave, and that's another reason I think there's also more overhead supply than demand, is that it's very likely that if we build out an ABC wave, we'll most likely undercut these lows and play out a measured move down. So a measured move in this case, since you have these highs here at 33.50, and then these set of highs here at 32.50 would be actually 100 points below these recent lows. So you have these lows here at 28.90, so you'd expect a move to around 27.90, and then that's where you'd most likely find demand, which is also in line with this 138.2% extension. I think it's very possible this is a long-term ABC wave after completing 5 waves up. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. This is my views on Amazon, and I hope it helped you out in some sort of way. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe.